Thinking before acting, a framework for reflective, values-aligned leadership abstract. This article explores how thoughtful, deliberate leadership grounded in mindfulness can lead to stronger and more sustainable organizational outcomes. Research has shown connections between mindfulness, intentional decision-making, and positive leadership impacts. Mindful leaders exhibit lower emotional reactivity, greater emotional intelligence, and decisions more closely aligned with organizational values and long-term goals. Teams led by mindful leaders experience less conflict, higher cohesion, and greater creativity. The article examines specific decision-making frameworks like the reflective leader model and Kepner-Tregoe method that embed reflection and foresight into every stage of the leadership process. Practical examples are provided across industries to demonstrate how these principles can be applied to priority setting, difficult conversations, strategic planning, and change management. While the impulse to act quickly exists, the article concludes that pausing to think through decisions mindfully results in wiser choices that benefit the entire organization. Effective leadership requires mindfulness, thoughtfulness, and intentional decision-making. Leaders who act impulsively or reactively without taking time for reflection and consideration often make rash choices that damage organizations and undermine goals. Today we will explore how thoughtful, deliberate leadership serves as a foundation for strong and sustainable results. Research on mindful leadership. A wealth of research has found connections between mindfulness, deliberate decision-making, and positive leadership outcomes. Mindfulness involves paying attention to the present moment intentionally and non-judgmentally. Kabat-Zinn, 1990. Leaders high in mindfulness have been shown to make better decisions, manage stress more effectively, and promote more positive team dynamics. Reb et al. 2014. Mindfulness trains the mind to slow down automatic reactions and think critically before responding, recognizing how behaviors impact others. Some key research findings on how mindfulness relates to leadership include: mindful leaders report lower levels of emotional reactivity and higher emotional intelligence, allowing them to respond constructively rather than impulsively in difficult situations. Walsh et al. 2018. They make decisions aligned more closely with organizational values and long-term goals rather than short-term appeals to convenience or popularity. Week and Sutcliffe, 2006. Teams led by mindful leaders experience less conflict, higher cohesion, and greater creativity due to a psychologically safe climate where views can be shared freely. Glom et al. 2011. Mindfulness training has been shown to decrease stress levels and increase focus, attention, and capacity for complex problem-solving in leaders. Roche et al. 2014. This research provides a strong foundation that mindfulness allows leaders to think before acting, making choices beneficial for all stakeholders rather than satisfying fleeting impulses. Next, specific decision-making frameworks will be explored. Deliberate decision-making frameworks. The reflective leader model. The reflective leader model, developed by David Yale, 1996, provides a structured approach for thoughtful leadership. The key steps are: gather information, seek diverse facts and perspectives from data and direct sources. Understand context, consider organizational climate, dynamics, culture, and history. Clarify values, ensure proposed actions align with core values and mission. Anticipate consequences, think through potential short- and long-term impacts on people and goals. Weigh options deliberately, compare all viable alternatives systematically before choosing. Act with awareness, implement choice mindfully, having fully reflected previously. Learn from experience, review outcomes, and continuously refine leadership approach. Using this model prevents impulsive reactivity by building reflection into every stage of decision-making. The subsequent Kepner-Tregoe method expands on consequences analysis even further. The Kepner-Tregoe decision analysis method. The Kepner-Tregoe (KT) method Kepner-Tregoe. 1965, was developed for complex problem-solving and targets one of the reflective leader model's key steps. KT provides a structured way to thoroughly anticipate consequences before opting for a solution. The steps include: define the problem clearly, establish evaluation criteria for viable options, generate potential options, systematically investigate each option in depth. Using criteria, rate option viability numerically based on investigation, outline all possible consequences for each option, assess consequence likelihood and validity, select option with fewest, least serious consequences. This deep analysis of ramifications ensures the chosen path will minimize risks and negative impacts. Combined with the reflective leader model, these methods embed deliberateness and foresight into organizational leadership. Practical application for leaders. The following sections provide practical tips for applying mindful, thoughtful leadership along with real-world examples suitable for various industries. Setting priorities. Leaders must constantly prioritize competing demands on limited resources like time, money, staff, and focus. Impulsive reaction to daily pressures risks overlooking strategic vision. The reflective leader models, clarify values, and KT's consequence analysis steps help here. For example, a hospital CEO noticed clinicians requesting various technologies and programs. Rather than approve based on popularity, she conducted staff surveys and board discussions to clarify the core values of compassion and access. This revealed telehealth could best serve underprivileged populations, aligning new priorities accordingly. Difficult conversations. Emotively charged interactions require maintaining composure. The reflective leader models, understand context, paired with mindfulness training, equips leaders to handle such talks constructively. For a university president, protests arose regarding a new policy. Taking time for silent reflection on campus dynamics. She acknowledged valid concerns respectfully while still implementing needed rules. Diffusing tensions. Both sides felt heard rather than attacked. Strategic planning. Creating future-facing strategies involves countless moving parts. The reflective leader model's comprehensive information gathering and KT's systematic option weighing prevent overlooking critical angles. A technology CEO led employees through multiple planning sprints to fully explore strengths, weaknesses, and capture varied views. Reassuring all voices mattered. This thoroughness uncovered a merger path better achieving their mission where impatience may have missed chances. Change management. Transforming organizations smoothly requires delicate coordination and communication. Impulsive changes risk alienating stakeholders, whereas taking time for consensus nurtures buy-in. A government director implemented Yale's reflective leader model before restructuring an agency. Gathering staff feedback identified attachment to certain roles. So she created new positions, leveraging those skills to optimize performance while validating emotions. Smooth sailing resulted. Conclusion. Research clearly shows that thoughtful, mindful leadership produces superior outcomes to impulsive, reactive approaches. Leaders who take time for deliberate reflection at each decision point, gathering diverse input, considering organizational context and values, thoroughly investigating alternatives and their consequences, make wiser choices benefiting all. Practical examples across industries demonstrate how frameworks like the reflective leader model and Kepner-Tregoe method embed mindfulness into prioritization, difficult conversations, strategic planning, and change management. While the impulse to act quickly exists, pausing to think benefits organizations and inspires stakeholders through prudent, aligned leadership. Leaders who lead reflectively see the biggest results.